Okay, hello, and welcome to episode a billion of Building Site. I don't remember what episode it is, Joanna. Do you remember what episode it is?
It's 28
28. I knew that. Episode 28 of,
billion.
of Building Site without Malcolm because we hated him or because he's on holiday. Yeah, so today, Joanna and I will be adding some exciting functionality. We've already added this storyboard setup so that we can develop our UI components independently of our app. We don't need to run a REPL to do this. We're going to add a calendar, and the calendar will be very useful for people to add their timesheets and holidays. And
And view others' timesheets and holidays.
yeah, so we'll need a component for that, so we can search React, Calendar, and oh look, this one looks good.
Oh, what's React Big Calendar, Alex?
It's a component for doing calendar things, and we can see a view of it, and it's got all these different options.
So we thought this one would be better better than a smaller calendar that just highlighted dates, because a user would be able to see if they'd booked their time in for work or if they had holidays. And I guess even on this view, if we were being really fancy, we could show a calendar for the user that also displayed their teammates' holidays. So if they were booking time off, you could maybe not all book Christmas off at once.
Yeah, so it seems pretty customizable. Like if you wanted to have a 3 week view, you could do that. Apparently, you can do like a year view or different sorts of rendering, and you can have schedules so that you can see. Maybe you could even select a list of people and you could see all of their holidays and timesheets overlapping if you wanted to see, like, oh, let's find out when someone's free. Exactly like you can with every other calendar app that already exists. So let's see how we get started. First, we're going to need to install our calendar. We'll go run Storybook, and we'll just focus on Storybook for now. So
Could you just do that a bit slower? How you run Storybook, Alex?
yeah, well, in VS Code, which I'm using for JavaScript because I can't do JavaScript, I go to the package JSON file, and then it makes a little debug toggle above the scripts, and then I can click on one of them and it will connect to the VS Code debugger and starts that command in the VS Code terminal. So if I want to add my dependency, I just add it with yarn, and we can read that the styles should be imported into the page. So really you would only want the calendar CSS to be imported when you render the components. So let's make a new file called calendar, and I think you can import CSS. Oh, yeah, okay, I think it just needs to be in quotes. Okay, and then let's just copy this example because we're in JavaScript and we can. Okay, my events list does not exist yet. Let's see if they actually have a better example that we can just copy. What's the most...
What's the simple one? Let's do basic calendar.
Alright, good idea. Okay, so here we have our example. So let's copy and paste this, and we will pass in events. And we can delete this dates thing. So now nothing is complaining at us. I did see in this repo they have a stories folder, so
Could you just copy that?
possibly.
Copy the code from that.
This is like quite an old version of Storybook though. So yeah, I guess there's...
Let's do it ourselves then.
Yeah, let's do it ourselves. So to make a story, you just add a new file with the same name, calendar, but .stories. TSX. And then we can just find something to copy from, like this. And we'll just copy all of this and paste it. Okay, there we go. So we want to replace sidebar with basic calendar, wasn't it?
Is it basic calendar? I can't see where your cursor is. You're not typing anything.
It's at the bottom, the orange.
Oh yes, I see. Oh,
Um,
a brave find and replace, just guessing.
yeah. Well, what could go wrong? Okay, so we've got our calendar, and then we've got our default properties, which we will figure out, and we'll just do one for now. So, okay, that's really what I should have just typed in the first place.
A bit quicker. So should we just talk through what this template is quickly and the args that you're passing it?
Yes, go for it.
No, I'll let you go for it.
So all this is like exporting this object, says to Storybook that I have a new story with this title and this component, and then each of the functions that I am exporting will have different properties and they'll be rendered in different ways. So here I have like the sidebar, and here I have an example where there's no avatar to see it render like a default avatar. So if I put some example properties in, so let's see. We are expecting a localizer and also events now too. So let's go find localizer. Okay, and then probably we'll want to change this to be non-American. It might be GB, yes.
Yeah. I'm sure it will.
Okay, this will work 100% first time.
Yes. I guess Storybook is giving us faster feedback that we're wrong. This is okay if we don't care about the actual dates. So our event, is that grey shadow just for just some lines on the month that are just close together? Because it's not worked.
Why do you think this isn't working?
I wonder if it just looks a bit squashed. And it's because it doesn't have a height to fill?
Possibly.
But it should surely still have the date.
Yeah, you're right. It's because it's like we're just rendering this calendar component without anything, and obviously it's set to fill the height, but when there's no height,
It fills nothing.
Yep. Yeah, let's add. I actually have no idea how you're supposed to do this properly. It's actually painful. Okay, so if we just add a normal div, then we need to add a height. What should the height be?
1/8. Right. I can never remember if it's that's the one. 3 inches.
Okay, sure. So now we have our calendar and we have our events, and if we go to our stories, or actually we can see here, oh yeah, now it's like responsive.
Oh.
Cool. We can see all of our events and we can see what's in them. So all day event, very long title. Oh yeah, that must be here. And we could change the day and the title, and we can play with it. Anyway, what do you think is next to do?
I think we can try and put that into our people page now.
Good plan. So in our people file, we have the tabs and we have description list and member list. But when we click on a different tab, we want to change what's rendered underneath here. So tabs at the moment is hard coded to this. Let's say that we do.
So would you be tempted to do another query param?
Yeah.
But how in this case we'd need to know?
No.
No.
No. I think that whatever profile we're on, we render this tabs component.
Mm-hmm.
If this tabs component just stores calendar or profile or recognition or whatever, then we just render that one like we do here. But we just have like if, profile do this, if calendar do calendar. And then we'll still pass in the profile prop. So whoever's profile we're on, it will always be the right one.
Mm-hmm.
But if we make it a query param of like tab equals whatever, then that will just be appended to the thing. However, for now we won't worry too much about the query param because we're just doing the views. So if we keep this as this and we just say in the tabs component we're gonna have like some state, so we'll add here. Scary sometimes. Okay, sure, but we'll have it as a string as
Feels like cheat mode's on.
I know, right? Okay, yeah, and then in our tabs we will pass those, and then I think there's like a quicker way to write this, but I don't entirely know what it is. Is it not called that? Oh, it's probably just complaining because it doesn't expect it. So, selected tab set. Okay, and then on our thing we do on click. Yeah, and then instead of like doing tab.current, we can just say this tab.name equals selected tab, but without this bit.
And would there be a default for when you first visit the page?
Yeah, the default will be in here where we have this tab 0. So that's the default state. So tabs at the moment is here, but when we pass it down in the props or whatever we do, it will just pick the first one and have that as the default. So let's save that and see what happens. Okay, so we can now change tab. Obviously nothing here changes, but that should be easy to add. If we do I don't know, what's a case or a switch or a how are you supposed to do it? I think in GSX you have to do an if, like with the question marks and stuff.
Yeah.
She sounds fine. Yeah, we just won't do this one yet because I don't even know what recognition means.
I think we can maybe get rid of it for now.
Yeah. Okay, and then we just got to fix the calendar. So let's import it. Import calendar.
You can also remove Tom Cook.
Okay,
Well, as something
something has happened.
something's happened. What's the empty tag underneath selected tag?
It's the same as this. Oh no.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a React fragment.
Well,
Okay, this is unhappy because it needs events.
and so will we pass events through with the profile.
Yes. However, for now, we'll just make a thing called events like we have here.
I mean, it should be able to handle no events being passed to it if someone's got no holidays, so we could do it without any events.
Yeah, I
Or
guess.
the events question mark.
Yeah, so let's do that actually. Let's try it with nil. Oh wait, nil isn't a thing in JavaScript, is it? Okay, and then in calendar, events, or empty array. Okay, so let's see if that works. Okay, cool. So now we have.
Oh, it's beautiful. And it accepts nils.
Yeah.
Nulls.
Great. So.
And does the date, the date defaulted to today?
Today is not April, is it?
Yeah, that'd be what? And is it even this year?
Ah.
There you go.
True. Ah. For some reason, like when you click on Storybook, it opens the whole thing in a frame, and that doesn't do hot reloading.
Oh, okay.
So if I go back to the actual thing, now
Should be hot reloading.
I think
reloading.
the reason is because it's got an href on it. So if I just remove those links in tabs, let's just not have an href for now. There we go. So we'll want the href to add the query param later, but for now we won't bother with it.
Do we need a query param if it's?
Yeah, we want one because otherwise if you refresh the page, this is going to be lost.
Okay.
So now we just need to get the dates and stuff, but maybe we should move that to next episode.
Yeah, I think we can move that to next episode. We can import the user holidays and the descriptions and use it. So we can add to our open API and do the closure side next time.
Yeah, great. So I guess we will. I was just going to add the actual proper way of doing it. Height. Is it?
Are you doing Tailwind?
Yeah, just to give it a bit of breathing room.
Very nice, and that's why Tailwind is excellent.
Yeah, so you can see in Storybook it's easy to mock out all this data. So if I wanted to mess with what different events look like, I could have different stories with different events. So, it would be quite easy now to add another story with no events. So if I do, all I have to do is export const calendar no event, and then I do calendar no events dot args.
Come on, Copilot, you're making him do a lot of work.
Yeah, I know, right? What's it doing? Okay, and then this. So now I should get another calendar thing. So now I've got normal calendar and I've got calendar no events, and it's got no events.
Great.
And I could have calendar many events and test it. What happens if you have, a really long one? But yeah, anyway, let's leave it there. So we have made our calendar component and we've got a view of it in our profile page. So if we ran our ClojureScript app, it would all appear like this, but we don't have to because of Storybook. Any thoughts, Johanna, before we end the episode?
I think we struggled through well. Next time we can, get some real data in there. Go back to our closure roots.
Yeah, you can drive next time.
Yeah, and make sure it all works on the actual site as opposed to just Storybook.
Cool. So anyway, until next episode of 1,000,000,001, this has been Building Site. Goodbye.